In the Grand Hall of Orion Station, the Galactic Council gathered under the glittering dome of crystal light. Hundreds of alien envoys sat in circular tiers that surrounded the center stage. The air shimmered with floating screens, each showing data about a small blue planet spinning near a yellow sun. The name of that world flashed in bold silver letters across the central display: Earth. The Dravic representative, a tall, scaled being with golden eyes, stood at the podium. His voice echoed through the hall as he addressed the council. This planet is rich in oceans, minerals, and fertile lands. Its people are divided and unevolved. It is perfect for settlement. I propose we bring it under the supervision of the council. Murmurs filled the hall. Many agreed. To them, Earth looked like an untouched prize in the quiet arm of the Milky Way. The hologram showed forests, rivers, and sprawling human cities. Some envoys saw opportunity, others saw weakness. The elder member of the council, a soft-spoken being from the Oran race, raised a glowing hand. Be cautious. The humans have a strange history. They fight even when there is no chance to win. Their past wars show that they do not surrender easily. The Dravic representative smirked. They throw stones and metal, nothing more. Look at their ships. They still burn fuel to fly. Their weapons are primitive. They cannot even travel beyond their own moon. You speak of courage, but courage cannot stop plasma. The hall laughed. The idea that a primitive world could resist the council seemed foolish. The Galactic Council ruled thousands of systems. Their fleets could crush planets in hours. One small planet could not stand against them. But the Oran elder did not laugh. He looked at the hologram of Earth and whispered, "They have something else. I can feel it. They are not afraid to lose everything." No one listened. The council's vote began. One by one, the members pressed their glowing panels. The final decision appeared in the air above them. Majority approved. Earth to be brought under galactic protection. The words sounded noble, but everyone knew what it meant. It was conquest in the name of order. Far away on the edge of the solar system, human satellites caught the first sign of the alien fleet. The signals were faint but organized. Thousands of ships were moving in formation, heading directly toward Earth. Hidden in a secret command center under Geneva, alarms flashed red. Generals, scientists, and leaders from all nations gathered around a massive screen that showed the incoming threat. General Reed, an old man with a calm face and gray eyes, stood silently as his aides reported. Unidentified fleet entering the system. Estimated arrival in 30 hours. Communication signals detected. They are broadcasting in hundreds of languages. Reed nodded slowly. Any sign of weapons? Yes, sir. Multiple carrier ships, orbital stations, and landing crafts. It looks like a full occupation force. The leaders around the table exchanged nervous glances. The room filled with quiet fear. Earth had known war, but never like this. No one had ever imagined facing an entire galaxy. General Reed looked at the screen again. The alien ships glowed like silver insects crawling through space. Prepare the defense grid, he said. The chief scientist hesitated. Sir, are you sure? They might come for peace, Reed shook his head. Peace does not arrive with warships. We give them one message. No more. Across Earth, secret facilities activated. Under the oceans, long-buried submarines hummed to life. In orbit, invisible satellites repositioned themselves. Old systems that had been silent for years came online. The planet that looked peaceful from space began to awaken. When the alien fleet reached Earth's orbit, their commander, High Consul Dranik of the Dravic Empire, looked down through the viewing deck. The blue planet shimmered below. Clouds swirled around its surface. Beautiful, he said. A pity they are too primitive to share it. His second officer, a young reptilian aide, nodded eagerly. Should we open communication, sir? Dranik smiled. Yes. Let us offer them civilization before we take it. A wideband signal filled Earth's airwaves. Across televisions, radios, and satellite networks, an alien voice spoke in clear translation. People of Earth, we come in peace. The Galactic Council welcomes you into a new age. You will surrender your weapons and submit to Council protection. In return, you will receive technology and guidance. The message played again and again. It echoed across every city and every continent. People stopped in the streets listening in disbelief. News channels broke into live coverage. Social media filled with panic and wonder. Some prayed, others cheered. Many feared the unknown. Hours passed, but no reply came from Earth. In the Council's fleet, confusion grew. "No response," said the communications officer. "They heard us, but they stay silent." Dranik frowned. "Primitive pride. They believe they can bargain. Prepare the landing teams. We will show them kindness by strength." On Earth, General Reed stood in the command center. The alien message repeated on the screens, but he ignored it. His eyes were fixed on a single secure monitor. On it, the final transmission code was ready. A young technician asked softly, "Sir, are we sure this is the message we send? It might anger them." Reed looked at the technician. "It is not anger. It is clarity." He pressed the button. In the middle of space, the alien flagship received a short burst signal. The message was simple. A video appeared showing General Reed standing against a gray backdrop. His voice was steady and calm. "This is Earth Command. Leave our system at once. You will not be warned again." The message ended. No threats, no anger, only certainty. The alien bridge fell silent. Dranik blinked, unsure if he had heard correctly. "That is their message? That is all?" His officer nodded. "Yes, sir." It repeated once, then stopped transmitting. The commander laughed. "How charming. They think they can threaten the Council with words. Very well. Let them see what defiance brings." But as he turned away, the stars outside shifted. A few of the alien ships reported sudden sensor interference. Their scanners failed to read several satellites orbiting Earth. Dranik dismissed it as a glitch. "Ignore it. Begin descent." Back on Earth, General Reed received updates. "They are moving closer." No sign of retreat. Reed's face remained calm. "Hold positions. Do not fire unless they touch atmosphere." The world watched from hidden bunkers and quiet homes. People stayed indoors, waiting. In the sky, strange lights appeared as alien ships entered low orbit. Children pressed faces to windows. Governments told citizens to stay calm. Every defense network was ready, but Earth stayed silent. Up above, the alien fleet launched smaller crafts toward the surface. Their engines left trails of green fire. They aimed for open fields and deserts, planning to build bases where humans could see their power. The Council commanders expected fear, surrender, or worship. Instead, they found silence. When the first alien landing ship reached the upper atmosphere, its systems suddenly went dark. No alarms, no warnings, just a complete shutdown. The ship fell like a rock and vanished into the ocean. Seconds later, another followed. Then another. Dranik's bridge filled with noise. "We are losing contact with the landing groups. All signals cut. Something is jamming us." "From Earth?" Dranik demanded. "Yes, sir. Source unknown." The commander clenched his claws. "Fire a warning shot. Show them what happens when they resist." The fleet's plasma cannons charged, glowing bright red. But before they could fire, every targeting system blinked out. Screens turned black. Engines flickered. The fleet drifted helplessly as if caught in invisible hands. On Earth, deep below the surface, hidden control stations activated old protocols. Human engineers watched as satellite defenses locked onto each alien ship. The orbital grid that had been built over decades under secret programs now came alive. Beams of light invisible to the naked eye lanced through space. Dranik saw the first explosion on his screen. One of the Council's ships burst into a storm of fire. The shockwave rocked nearby vessels. He shouted orders, but the bridge filled with chaos. One after another, ships went silent. The entire formation began to break apart. In the command center under Geneva, General Reed watched the battle unfold on holographic displays. The alien fleet was falling apart, but his face showed no emotion. A young officer whispered, "They are retreating, sir." Reed nodded. "Good. Record the time." 12 minutes since first fire," said the officer. 12 minutes, Reed repeated. "That is the lesson." When the last alien ship jumped to faster-than-light travel, leaving behind burning debris in orbit, the skies over Earth cleared again. The clouds moved as if nothing had happened. From the surface, people saw only a few bright flashes fading into the stars. The governments remained silent. Officially, nothing had occurred. In the darkness of space, a small human probe followed the fleeing ships. It sent one final transmission to the Council's communication network. The message was text only. "You were warned. Stay away from Earth." On Orion Station days later, the Council members gathered once more. The survivors of the fleet stood in silence before them. Dranik's face was pale, his pride broken. He spoke softly. "They destroyed everything. We never even saw their weapons. It was like the planet itself fought back. The hall was silent. The Orin elder closed his eyes. "I warned you," he said. "You cannot measure humans by their machines. They defend their home with something no weapon can match. What is that?" asked another envoy. The elder opened his eyes. "Will." Silence filled the galaxy after the battle above Earth. The council fleet that once promised an easy victory was gone. The stars around the solar system were quiet. Bits of wreckage drifted near the moon, glowing faintly in sunlight. From the far reaches of Orion Station, the Galactic Council received the reports. None of them could believe it. Inside the council chamber, the atmosphere was heavy. The floor glowed dim blue beneath the long rows of seats. The delegates sat stiff, their faces pale or covered in scaled unease. The Dravic Empire's section was almost empty. Only one survivor, Commander Dranik, remained. His eyes were hollow, his voice tired. "They destroyed us in 12 minutes, he said quietly. "Our shields collapsed before they even fired visible weapons. It was as if the void itself attacked. I have no readings of what hit us." The room erupted in questions. "How could a single planet defend itself like that?" shouted one counselor from the Varn Alliance. "What weapon did they use?" another demanded. "You must have provoked them," accused a third. Dranik raised a shaking claw. "We did not provoke them. We offered peace and protection. They said one thing: leave. That was all." The Orin elder, who had warned them earlier, looked around the hall. "Now will you believe me?" he said. "Humans are not a race that seeks conquest, but if you step on their soil, they will make sure you never do it again." A younger delegate leaned forward. "Are you saying they can fight the council?" The elder gave a slow nod. "They already did." The hall fell silent again. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council had to face an enemy they did not understand. Not a mighty empire, not a swarm of machines, but a single small planet that refused to bow. The Supreme Chancellor, a tall being covered in silvery fur, rose from his seat. "We cannot allow fear to guide our judgment. Perhaps the Dravic fleet made mistakes. Perhaps there was a misunderstanding. We must send investigators." Dranik's voice rose suddenly. "Do not go there. They are watching. They let me live so I could speak this warning. If you go again, you will not return." His words echoed in the chamber. The Chancellor hesitated, then sat down. No one argued further. The council adjourned, but no one truly relaxed. The legend of Earth had begun to spread. Back on Earth, things were different. The people never learned the full truth. Governments released small statements about unidentified phenomena and orbital disturbances. The public believed it was just another scientific experiment. Only a few leaders knew the scale of what had happened. General Reed walked through the underground corridors of the Geneva Command Center. The air smelled of steel and oil. Screens on the walls replayed data from the short but deadly encounter. He stopped in front of one monitor showing the wreckage still floating near the moon. A young officer walked beside him. "Sir, most of the debris has broken apart. The recovery drones are bringing back samples. It looks like advanced alloy, not like anything we have." Reed nodded. "Good, study it, but keep it secret. No broadcasts, no leaks." "Yes, sir." "The scientists are calling it the silent war." Reed looked at her. "Wars need two sides to fight back. They had their chance. We only defended." As they walked deeper into the base, they passed rows of engineers and analysts. Every face showed exhaustion, but also quiet pride. Humanity had survived something no one could have imagined. In a side room, the Global Council of Nations gathered through holograms. Leaders from across continents appeared as shimmering figures around a round table. The President of the United Americas spoke first. "We cannot hide this forever. Other worlds will notice their fleet is gone," Reed answered. "Let them notice. If they come again, we are ready. Our defense network is stronger than ever." Another leader asked, "Should we try to talk to them? Perhaps send a peaceful message?" Reed shook his head. "They heard our message. Once was enough. If we stay silent, they will stay away." The others agreed after long debate. Humanity decided to remain unseen. No more signals, no more invitations to the stars. Earth would wait. Months passed. The wreckage near the moon drifted out of orbit. But strange things began to happen. Deep space sensors detected small movements near the edge of the solar system. Faint energy readings flickered and vanished. Some scientists thought they were comets. Others believed the Council was watching again. In the hidden observation post beneath the Atlantic Ocean, Commander Elena oversaw the monitoring systems. Her screens showed thousands of blinking dots representing human satellites and probes. A red alert light flashed once, then stopped. "Contact," said one of her crew. "Object entering outer system. Speed lower than light, but not natural." Elena leaned forward. "Is it transmitting?" "No, Commander." Silent approach. She pressed the communication button. "This is Atlantic Watch 1 to Central Command. Possible surveillance drone detected. Requesting authorization for observation only." From Geneva, General Reed's voice came through, calm as always. "Observe. Do not engage unless it crosses the orbit of Mars." "Yes, sir." The crew continued to track the object. It stopped just beyond Jupiter's orbit, staying motionless for days. Then it turned and left without warning. The readings disappeared. Elena exhaled slowly. "They are testing our response," Reed replied over the line. "And they just learned we are still watching." Meanwhile, at Orion Station, panic continued to grow. The Council's information network was filled with rumors. Merchant fleets refused to travel near the Sol sector. Some claimed they had seen invisible shadows moving in the dark, following their ships before vanishing. The Council tried to calm the fear, but the reports kept coming. In one closed meeting, the Chancellor gathered his top advisors. "We need to understand what they did. The loss of an entire fleet cannot remain unexplained." A scientist named Corey stood up. "We have analyzed the surviving records from Drennick's ship. There are energy patterns unlike anything we know. It seems Earth has developed a planetary shield system that draws power from their planet's magnetic field." The Chancellor frowned. "Impossible. Such a system would require energy beyond any world's core." Corey nodded. "Yet they did it. We believe they harnessed their own planet to create a web of defense satellites hidden by cloaking fields. When the fleet attacked, the grid activated and disabled everything within range." The room filled with whispers. "If they can do that on a single planet," said one advisor, "what if they start expanding?" Another replied nervously, "They have not moved since the battle. Perhaps they are content to remain isolated." The Chancellor leaned back. "Isolation can be a mask. We must stay cautious." On Earth, new projects began under strict secrecy. The old nations had united under a single defense council known as the Terran Command. Their goal was simple: prepare for the day the galaxy might return. General Reed met with his senior officers in a dim room lit by holographic projections of new designs. Huge spacecraft blueprints hovered in the air. "These are our next step," said the head engineer, pointing at the projections. "Long-range stealth cruisers. They will patrol beyond our solar border without being detected." Reed studied the models. "Keep their presence hidden. If we must go beyond, it must be unseen." The engineer nodded. "We call them the Ghost Fleet." Reed approved the plan. Within years, silent shipyards beneath the oceans began constructing massive vessels. Each one carried technology reverse-engineered from the alien wreckage, improved with human design. They used no bright energy signatures, no loud engines. In the void, they would move like shadows. At the same time, across the galaxy, stories about humans started to spread among traders and explorers. Some said Earth's people could control storms. Others said their eyes glowed in the dark. Many believed Earth was cursed, protected by ancient forces. The truth was simpler. Humans had learned never to underestimate fear. One night, on a small cargo vessel near the rim of Council space, two alien pilots spoke quietly as their ship passed near a restricted zone. "Do you think it is true?" the first asked. "That they destroyed the fleet in minutes?" The second looked out at the dark stars. "I heard a survivor say the humans never even came to space. The sky itself fought for them." They both fell silent. None dared cross the path that led toward Sol. Back in Geneva, General Reed stood before a glass window looking out over the city lights. The world above him had changed. Nations still existed, but boundaries mattered less. Humanity had one shared goal now: survival. His aide entered the room carrying a report. "Sir, the Council's probes have not returned." "No new movement for 3 months," Reed nodded. "They are afraid." "That gives us time. What should we do with the new ships once they are complete?" "Send them out quietly. Map the nearby systems. If anyone is watching, let them see our patience." He turned to the window again. "They think we are sleeping, but we are only waiting." On Orion Station, months later, the Supreme Chancellor received another report. A deep space listening post had detected strange coded signals traveling between distant stars. They were not Council frequencies. They were structured, deliberate, and timed with precision. When decrypted, the message repeated the same phrase in every known galactic language. You were warned. Stay away from Earth. The council chamber froze. Every race, every envoy, every empire knew the meaning. The humans were not just defending their planet. They were watching everything. Darkness stretched across space beyond Pluto's orbit. The sun was only a distant star now. In that quiet emptiness, something moved. It was a shadow against the stars. A long, sleek vessel painted black from bow to stern. Its engines made no sound, no light. It left no trace behind. It was the first ship of the Ghost Fleet, born in secret under the oceans of Earth. Inside the ship, Commander Elena sat in the command chair. Her eyes scanned the holographic map that showed faint outlines of nearby systems. Around her, the crew worked in silence. Every console glowed with soft blue light. The hum of the ship was calm and steady. This was humanity's first step beyond the solar system since the 12-minute war. Course set for Alpha Centauri, said her pilot. Proceed, Elena answered. The ship turned slightly and vanished into the dark. No one outside the solar system knew it existed. Its purpose was simple. Watch the galaxy and learn. Far away on Orion Station, the Galactic Council tried to forget the war they had lost. But fear had left a mark. Entire sectors near the Sol region were now untraveled. Traders called it the Silent Zone. Some believed Earth's weapons could still reach beyond its system. Others thought the humans had built invisible fleets. The Council tried to assure them it was all rumors, yet every year more reports arrived of missing ships. Inside the Council's Great Hall, the Supreme Chancellor held another meeting. The large dome glowed with silver light as dozens of envoys gathered. Dranik, now stripped of command but still alive, stood before them again. You say your fleets vanish, he said. You say your sensors see shadows that are not there. Perhaps now you understand. They warned us once. We did not listen. A counselor from the Varn Alliance spoke harshly. You are saying these humans are hunting us. That cannot be true. They would need thousands of ships. Dranik's golden eyes glowed faintly. Perhaps they do not need thousands. Perhaps they only need patience. The room went quiet. No one had a clear answer. The Chancellor finally said, We cannot live in fear of ghosts. We will investigate. I will send a scientific expedition near their system to study the phenomena. Dranik shook his head slowly. Send them if you wish, but do not expect them to return. At the same time on Earth, General Reed reviewed progress reports in the underground command center. The walls hummed with quiet power. Screens showed star charts, ship trajectories, and encrypted communications from the Ghost Fleet. A young technician entered. Sir, Ghost 1 has reached Alpha Centauri. They report no sign of alien patrols. System clear, Reed nodded. Good. Tell them to remain hidden. We move slowly. The technician hesitated. There is something else, sir. We detected faint transmissions from beyond Council space. Unknown source, but it uses our warning code. Reed frowned. Our code? Yes, sir. The one that says stay away from Earth. He stood from his chair. Find the origin. Hours later, the analysts traced it to a remote region near the edge of Council territory. It was a signal repeating on multiple frequencies, strong and deliberate. No one on Earth had sent it. Reed studied the data in silence. Someone is echoing our message, he said at last. Someone who wants them to stay afraid. The scientist beside him whispered, Could it be another human fleet? Reed shook his head. We have only 5 ships. None are that far. Then who is sending it? Reed looked at the screen again. Maybe it is not a who. Maybe it is the fear we left behind. Meanwhile, Ghost 1 continued its mission. Commander Elena and her crew moved from system to system, scanning for Council activity. They recorded everything, ship routes, defense stations, and communication hubs. Every bit of data was sent back to Earth through narrow encrypted beams. During one long night cycle, the radar officer spoke. Commander, we are picking up energy spikes ahead. Not natural. Elena looked at the display. Council ships? Unknown. No identification codes. Bring us closer, stealth mode on. The ship drifted silently through the void until a massive object came into view. It was not a ship. It was a station, huge, circular, and abandoned. The hull was covered in scorch marks. It rotated slowly, leaking fragments of metal. Elena frowned. Record this. Any life signs? None, Commander. As they scanned deeper, they found strange patterns on the outer surface, melted markings that once held the Council's emblem. There were no bodies, no messages, only silence. Elena spoke quietly. Something destroyed this place. And it was not us. They sent the data back to Earth. When General Reed received the report, his expression hardened. If not us, then who? The scientist beside him said, "It looks like internal destruction. Maybe the council fought among themselves." Reed shook his head. "No, this is too clean. Whatever did this wanted no survivors. The galaxy is changing." On Orion Station, the council was facing its own problems. Several member species had started withdrawing. Trade routes near human space were closing. Pirates and raiders were taking advantage of the fear. The Chancellor ordered more patrols, but each time a ship went missing, whispers spread that humanity had struck again. In a private chamber, the Auran Elder met with the Chancellor. "You must stop sending ships near them," the Elder warned. "Every loss feeds the legend. Soon no one will trust your rule." The Chancellor sighed. "If we do nothing, fear will destroy the Council anyway. I must show strength." "Strength without understanding is weakness," said the Elder. "If you want to survive, you must understand the humans." The Chancellor leaned forward. "And how do you suggest we do that?" "Send no fleet." "Send a messenger?" The Chancellor looked doubtful. "They destroyed a fleet of thousands. What chance does one have?" The Elder's eyes glowed faintly. "Because one does not threaten. One listens." After a long pause, the Chancellor agreed. "Then find someone brave enough to go." Weeks later, a single small diplomatic ship left Orion Station. Its name was Aurora. It carried no weapons, only a crew of 3 and a message of peace. The Council sent it toward the Sol system under strict silence. Its captain, a young scholar named Relin, had studied humanity for years. He had read every archive, every transmission, every fragment left behind from the invasion. He believed that humans were not monsters, only misunderstood. As Aurora approached the edge of the solar system, Relin sent a calm transmission. "People of Earth, we come in peace. We seek understanding, not control." There was no reply. The ship continued forward. Planets drifted past like distant marbles. When they reached the orbit of Saturn, the sensors began to fail. Static filled the screens. The crew worked frantically trying to repair them, but every system started to shut down one by one. Relin remained calm. "Keep recording. Do not panic." Then outside the window a shadow appeared. It was large and silent, its outline barely visible against the stars. It glided past them with no lights, no signals. The crew gasped. "What is that?" one asked. Relin stared in awe. "It is human." "It must be." The shadow drifted closer until it filled the view. Words appeared on the communication screen, written in clear Galactic standard. "You are too close. Turn back." Relin replied quickly. "We come with peace." The words changed. "Leave," he tried again. "Please." "The Council wishes to make peace." "We want to learn." There was no answer. The shadow moved away slowly, and then the stars went dark as if covered by an invisible wall. All signals vanished. The ship's engines failed. They began to drift backward. Within moments, the navigation systems came back online. When they looked again, the shadow was gone. Relin whispered to his crew, "They let us live." When Aurora returned to Orion Station weeks later, the Council gathered to hear the report. Relin told them everything. He showed the message, the shadow, the silence. "They did not attack," he said. "They only told us to leave." The Chancellor asked, "Did you see their ships?" "Only one, but it was not like anything we know. It made no sound, no light, yet it controlled everything around it." Dranik leaned forward. "Then they are watching still." Relin nodded. "Always." On Earth, General Reed received confirmation of the encounter. The Council had tried to approach again, but had been warned away peacefully. Reed sat in his office reading the report in silence. The Ghost Fleet had done its duty without firing a single shot. Humanity's message was clear again. He turned to his aide. "So they still think we are a threat?" The aide smiled faintly. "We are, but not because we attack. Because we remember." Reed looked at the holographic display showing Earth surrounded by defense satellites and orbital stations. "Let them remember. Fear will keep them away longer than any weapon." The aide hesitated. "Do you think they will ever try again?" Reed thought for a long moment. "Yes, curiosity is stronger than fear. One day they will come again. And when they do, they will see that humanity does not hide. We build." He stood and looked at the stars on the screen. "Prepare the next phase. Expansion protocol." In the months that followed, Earth's underground cities became shipyards. The Ghost Fleet grew in number. Each ship carried better engines, stronger hulls, and improved stealth systems. The goal was no longer only defense. Humanity was now preparing to explore, to learn, and to be ready for any future threat. Commander Elena returned from her long mission and stood before General Reed in the command room. "Sir, we have mapped several unclaimed systems. Some are rich in minerals, perfect for hidden outposts." Reed nodded. "Choose one. Establish a forward base. Keep it secret from everyone, even our allies." The galaxy was restless. Years had passed since the last contact between Earth and the Galactic Council, but the silence had become heavier than war. Merchants avoided the route near Sol, soldiers whispered about ghost ships, and even the bravest explorers refused to travel too close to that quiet blue planet. Across thousands of worlds, the same story spread in different languages. Humans had spoken once, and the stars had listened. Inside Orion Station, the Council gathered again. The great chamber no longer glowed with pride. The walls were darker, the air colder. The delegates sat in uneasy silence. Many seats were empty. Some empires had withdrawn completely, choosing to isolate themselves rather than risk another conflict. The Supreme Chancellor entered and took his place at the center. His once steady voice now carried a tone of exhaustion. "We have lost contact with 3 colonies in the Outer Rim," he said. "No sign of attack, no distress call, only silence. Our ships that went to investigate never returned." A wave of murmurs passed through the room. The representative of the Varn Alliance rose. "This is the work of the humans. Who else could make ships vanish without a trace?" The Oran Elder lifted a calm hand. "You accuse too easily." "There is no proof." The Varn delegate shouted. "No proof because no one survives. They warned us once. Now they punish quietly." The Chancellor struck the floor with his staff to silence them. "We do not know who is responsible. We will not start another war based on fear. We need information." From the side, a small creature with gray skin and bright eyes spoke softly. It was the scientist Corey, the one who had studied the human defense systems before. "I have been analyzing the lost colony data. The energy readings from their last transmissions match patterns seen near the Sol sector. The signature is not natural." Dranik, who had remained silent until then, leaned forward. "If it matches, then we already know the source." The Chancellor sighed. "I hoped we would not reach this point again. But if Earth has indeed expanded its reach, we must face reality. We can no longer call them primitive." The Elder nodded. "They were never primitive, only patient." While the Council argued, far across the void, the Ghost Fleet continued to grow. Hidden shipyards on the far side of the moon and deep beneath the Pacific constructed new vessels faster than ever. The newest class of ships, known as Horizon Carriers, were built not only for defense but for exploration. Each carried stealth drones, research teams, and long-range scanners. General Reed now served as Supreme Commander of the Terran Command. His hair was gray, but his eyes still held the same sharp calm. He stood in the main control hall beneath Geneva, where a holographic map of the Milky Way spun above the table. Dozens of green lights showed Earth's hidden outposts, stretching quietly toward the outer stars. A young officer reported, "Sir, Ghost 1 and Ghost 3 have returned from deep space patrol. No contact with the Council fleets. We also received coded signals from our outpost near Proxima. The base is fully operational." Reed nodded. "Good. Continue silent expansion. Do not broadcast any open signals." The officer hesitated. "Sir, some of the crew ask why we remain hidden. They say we have the strength to stand openly now." Reed looked up at the map. "Because power is not safety. The Council fears what it does not see. Let that fear keep them away. The moment we show our strength, they will unite against us." The officer saluted and left. Reed stayed behind, watching the small blinking lights on the map. Humanity had come far in silence, but he knew silence could not last forever. In the outer rim of Council space, another mysterious event occurred. A mining colony on planet Tyro 6 sent a distress signal. The message was faint and broken, filled with static. The last words were clear enough to chill anyone who heard them. "They are here." When Council rescue ships arrived weeks later, they found no survivors. The colony had been emptied. Every building stood untouched, every system still running, but no life remained. There was no sign of violence, only absence. On one wall, someone had carved a single line in Galactic Standard. "We warned you." When the news reached Orion Station, panic erupted. Civilian fleets demanded protection. The Chancellor ordered more patrols, but few volunteered to go near the area. Rumors spread faster than truth. Some claimed human ships could vanish and reappear anywhere. Others said the humans had created weapons that erased memory and left worlds silent. The Auran Elder tried to calm the council. Fear feeds on shadows. You see ghosts because you expect them. Perhaps something else is at work. Dranik shook his head. You said once that humans defend only their world. Then why do their warnings appear light years away? The Elder's voice was steady. Because they no longer defend only Earth. They defend their future. Meanwhile, Commander Elena and her crew aboard Ghost 1 had reached the outer systems beyond Council reach. They found traces of unknown ships, neither human nor Council. Burned wreckage floated among the stars. Elena studied the remains through the viewport. Someone else is fighting out here, she said. The science officer ran tests. The energy pattern is strange. Not Council, not ours, Elena frowned. Could it be another species? Possibly. But their technology looks ancient. She sent all recordings back to Earth. Hours later, General Reed received them and studied the data carefully. This changes everything, he said to his advisors. If another power exists beyond the Council, then the galaxy is not as peaceful as they think. The chief scientist asked, should we reveal ourselves to the Council and warn them? Reed shook his head. No, let them believe it is us. Their fear will keep them cautious. When they finally see the real enemy, they will understand. On Orion Station, chaos deepened. Reports arrived from more colonies going dark. No one knew if it was human action or something else. The Council's unity began to break apart. Some members called for peace talks with Earth. Others demanded war before it was too late. During one tense session, the Chancellor turned to Relin, the diplomat who had once visited the Sol system. You have seen them up close. Tell us the truth. Are they capable of this destruction? Relin stood slowly. They are capable, yes, but not reckless. If humans strike, they do so with purpose. They would not erase colonies for no reason. Dranik asked sharply. Then who is doing it? Relin looked at the map of lost systems. Something else. But because of fear, everyone blames Earth. That is how legends turn into wars. The Chancellor rubbed his forehead. Then what do you suggest? Contact them again, Relin said. If we keep hiding behind fear, the galaxy will destroy itself. Dranik's eyes widened. You would risk another encounter? Relin nodded. Better to face truth than live in shadow. Permission was granted. The Council prepared another ship, stronger and faster than before. Its name was Harmony. Relin was once again chosen to lead. As the ship departed, many believed it would never return. Days later, Harmony crossed into the silent zone. The crew watched the stars disappear behind them. No signal could reach Orion Station now. Relin sat in the command chair, his eyes fixed on the dark horizon. Transmit our message, he said. We come with peace. The communication officer obeyed. A soft pulse left the ship, carrying a message across the void. Minutes passed. Then a light appeared in front of them. It was small at first, like a distant spark, but it grew rapidly until it filled the view. The helmsman shouted, Unknown object approaching. No identification, Relin ordered. Hold position. Do not raise shields. The light stopped. It transformed into a massive human vessel. Its surface was dark silver, smooth and silent. The crew stared in awe. The ship was bigger than anything the Council had ever built. A message flashed across their screens. State your purpose, Relin replied calmly. We seek peace. We wish to understand. The message paused, then changed. You crossed into human space, Relin spoke again. If we are trespassing, we ask forgiveness. The next message appeared. You were warned once. Why do you come again? Relin hesitated. Because we believe peace is possible. There was a long silence. Then the message changed once more. Wait! The human ship turned away and vanished into the dark. The crew held their breath. Minutes later, a different transmission arrived. It was a visual feed showing a calm human officer seated in a command chair. His face was stern but not angry. This is General Reed of Earth Command. You have entered restricted space. State your reason clearly. Relin bowed slightly. General Reed, I am Relin of the Galactic Council. We wish to speak about peace between our peoples. Reed's expression stayed neutral. Peace requires trust. Trust requires memory. The last time your council came here, you sent warships. Relin said softly. That was before my time. We have changed. Reed looked at him carefully. Change takes more than words. What do you offer? Relin replied, knowledge. We know the galaxy is not safe. Colonies are disappearing. If we work together, we can stop it. For the first time, Reed's expression shifted slightly. You think we do not know? We have seen the same pattern. It is not our doing, Raylan said. Then help us find who is responsible. Reed paused, then nodded once. Very well. We will consider cooperation. But remember this. Earth stands alone by choice, not by weakness. The feed ended. The human ship vanished again. Harmony turned and began its journey home. When Relin returned to Orion Station, the council chamber was silent as he spoke.
Vacay.
The galaxy had entered a new age of silence. Between the stars, fleets moved carefully, scanning every shadow. Trade routes shifted. Colonies built stronger defenses. The memory of Earth's warning still lingered in every mind, shaping every decision. Yet beyond that fear, something darker had begun to grow, a new presence spreading quietly among the empty systems. On Orion Station, the Galactic Council met again. The grand hall that once echoed with laughter now felt like a tomb. The Chancellor stood before the delegates. We have received another report, he said. The colony on Vetra Prime has vanished. The security drones recorded strange shapes before going dark. The Varn representative slammed his hand on the table. This is beyond reason. How long will we sit in silence while worlds disappear? We should prepare for war. Dranik, the former commander, spoke calmly. War against what? You cannot fight what you do not understand. The Orin elder nodded. If these attacks are not human, then we face something new. And if we fight blindly, we will fall as easily as those colonies. The Chancellor looked around the room. There is only one path left. We must contact Earth again. The humans have faced what we now fear. They know how to survive. Some shouted in protest, others remained silent. But no one offered another solution. The Council agreed. A delegation would travel once more toward the Sol system, not with weapons, but with a request for help. On Earth, General Reed sat inside the command center under Geneva. He looked older now. Lines of age marked his face, but his eyes were sharp as ever. Reports from the Ghost Fleet scrolled across his desk. One report caught his attention. It came from Commander Elena, stationed on the forward base near Proxima. The message read, Unidentified energy readings detected beyond Proxima border. Unknown ships moving slowly toward inhabited sectors. Recommend full observation, Reed called his aide. Get me a direct link to Ghost 1. Moments later, Elena's image appeared on the screen. Sir, the signals are growing stronger. They move in formation, but not like council ships. Their energy signature is different. We think it is the same force attacking the colonies. Reed asked, Have they noticed us? Not yet. We are hidden under the field. But if they continue, they will reach our sector within a month. Reed nodded. Keep your distance. We will prepare. When the screen went dark, he turned to his staff. The galaxy will soon see what true danger looks like. Send word to all stations. Begin global defense readiness. Days later, the council delegation arrived near the solar system. The lead ship was the Harmony again, carrying Relin, the diplomat who had met General Reed before. The council had trusted him once more because he was the only one the humans had not turned away. As Harmony reached the boundary of human space, an automated message appeared on their screens. Identify yourself, Relin replied. This is Relin of the Galactic Council. We seek contact with Earth Command. Urgent matter of security. For a few long minutes there was no answer. Then a voice filled the cabin. Calm, steady, unmistakably human. Stand by. The crew waited. Then the black outline of a massive human vessel appeared ahead, silent and motionless. A corridor of light opened from its center. The message followed. Follow the beacon. You are welcome under watch. Relin exhaled slowly. They are allowing us through. The ship entered the glowing path. It felt like flying through a tunnel of invisible power. Static filled their systems, but no harm came. When the light cleared, they saw Earth. The blue planet hung below them, beautiful and calm, surrounded by faint rings of satellites that sparkled like dust. A voice came again. Prepare for docking. You will meet the Command Council. Relin and his crew followed the instructions. When the airlock opened, human soldiers waited for them. Calm, disciplined, dressed in black uniforms marked with the Earth emblem. They guided the visitors through a long corridor of steel and light until they reached a large chamber. General Reed stood at the center. He greeted them with a short nod. "You came again," Relin bowed slightly. "We come not as intruders, General. We come to ask for help." Reed studied him quietly. "Help from the ones you once called primitive." Relin nodded. "We were wrong. The galaxy is under threat. Whole colonies vanish without sound. Whatever is doing this moves unseen. You have faced such darkness before. We cannot face it alone." Reed walked closer. His voice was firm but calm. "You are asking for alliance." "Yes," Relin said. "An alliance for survival." Reed looked at his officers. "Leave us." They obeyed and stepped outside. The room became silent. Reed turned back to Relin. "Tell me everything." Hours passed as Relin showed him the recordings from the missing colonies. Strange dark shapes moved through the footage. Ships with no heat, no visible engines, no clear design. They appeared like shadows swallowing light. Reed watched every frame carefully. "They do not leave destruction," he said. "They leave emptiness. That means they take, not destroy." Relin nodded. "We think they harvest, but we do not know what," Reed said quietly. "Life." The two men stood in silence for a moment. Then Reed pressed a button on the table. A hologram of the galaxy appeared, showing the spreading pattern of disappearances. "These zones are expanding toward the center. If they reach here, there will be nothing left to save." Relin asked, "Will you help us?" Reed's eyes narrowed. "We will help because if the galaxy falls, Earth will be next. But understand this. Humanity does not follow orders. We will lead in our way." Relin bowed his head. "We ask only that you stand with us." Soon after, secret meetings began between human officers and council envoys. Plans were shared, data exchanged. Human engineers showed silent ship designs and defense technology. The council scientists were astonished. What they saw was far beyond anything they had imagined. One council scientist whispered to his colleague, "They are decades ahead of us. Perhaps centuries." Reed overheard and said simply, "Preparation takes time. We learned to build quietly while you argued in the light." The humans agreed to send the Ghost Fleet to investigate the dark zone beyond Proxima. In return, the Council would supply long-range sensors and navigation routes. It was the first true alliance in the galaxy's modern history, built not on trust but on shared fear. Weeks later, Ghost One led the combined fleet beyond known space. Commander Elena stood on the bridge surrounded by both human and alien officers. The view ahead showed the dark region where stars seemed to fade. "Entering Shadow Zone," the navigator reported. "Maintain stealth," Elena said. The ships drifted deeper. The further they went, the quieter the instruments became. Energy readings dropped. Even sound seemed to vanish. Then, out of the darkness, shapes began to form. Massive black structures floating like frozen clouds. The science officer whispered, "Those are not ships. They are alive." The structures pulsed faintly as if breathing. Smaller shapes moved around them, harvesting energy from nearby stars. The fleet watched in silent horror. Every reading suggested that these were living machines, beings that consumed light and energy to grow. Elena sent the data back to Earth. "We found the cause," she said. "They are spreading faster than we can track." General Reed received the message and immediately ordered a full council assembly. When the delegates saw the images, many could not believe it. Some whispered prayers. Others sat frozen in fear. Reed stood before them and spoke firmly. "This is the enemy. Not Earth, not each other. This is what your fear has hidden from you. If we do nothing, there will be no more stars to fight over." The Chancellor of the Council rose. "Then we stand with you, General. The galaxy will fight together." Reed nodded once. "Then prepare your worlds. Humanity will lead the front. You will provide supply and communication. We will strike first." For the first time, Earth's hidden fleets moved openly. Massive carriers and cruisers rose from the oceans, breaking through the clouds into the stars. The people of Earth watched in awe as the sky filled with silver light. The rest of the galaxy watched too. Every world saw the once silent planet awaken. The legend of the warning became real again, but this time it was not fear that spread. It was hope. The United Fleet gathered near Proxima. Thousands of ships stood ready, human and alien side by side. Commander Elena gave the final signal. "All ships engage engines." The fleet advanced into the dark region. Beams of light and energy filled the void as battle began. The living machine struck first. sending waves of black energy that drained power from ships. Human cruisers countered with magnetic shields powered by Earth's solar cores. Alien vessels provided support, firing energy lances into the shadows. The battle lasted for days. Every hour brought new danger. Ships vanished into the darkness, then reappeared with damage. Still, the fleet pushed forward. Humanity led the way, using their experience from the 12-minute war. General Reed commanded from Earth, directing fleets with calm precision. Hold formation. Focus fire on the cores. Do not let them spread. Finally, after countless attacks, Ghost One reached the center of the dark zone. Elena saw the largest structure ahead, a massive black sphere the size of a moon. It pulsed like a heart. Target locked, she said. Reed's voice came through the channel. All power to main cannon. End it now. The combined fleet concentrated every weapon on the core. The darkness around them flickered, then shattered in a wave of light. The black sphere cracked and exploded. The